Hey everybody, welcome to the FanCASTic 4 podcast. We're here to talk about all things MCU and a lot of other stuff too. This is our 4th episode. Glad to have you everybody back here again. Hope you've caught the other 3 as well. I'm Josh.
I'm Bateman.
I'm Drew.
And I'm Dustin. So guys, it's been about, 2, 3, 4 years?
Maybe 4 years since we did an episode.
It's been a while. Hopefully we can get to a more consistent and quicker schedule this summer, now that everyone's got maybe a little bit more free time on their hands.
Why was everybody so busy the last few weeks? I know, Drew, why don't you brag on yourself for a second before I do?
You.
Yeah, I graduated from I got my Master's of Fine Arts in Creative Writing.
Woo!
So
Give a round of applause.
Drew.
Good job, Drew.
We're really proud of you.
Yeah, I've officially accomplished nothing with my life so far, so it's great.
Well, hopefully you can write creatively.
I can. But I could do that before I got the Master's of Fine Arts too, so we'll see how it goes. Anyways, I guess I'm more qualified to do so. What about you, Josh? Anything exciting going on with you?
Josh.
Yeah, I've sorry guys, I'm a little sick today. But these last few weeks I've been gearing up for a big move. I'm moving down to Austin, Texas, from here in Indianapolis, and so there's just so much shit to get taken care of on a week-to-week basis. One of the projects is I'm painting and rebuilding my bicycle, so it'll be nice and ready to go.
You gonna ride your bike down to Austin?
Yes, I'm gonna pack up all my things.
Why is it necessary to paint it though?
I just didn't.
What was
like
so
it.
bad about it before?
It's just it's old and it blew and it said Huffy on the side of it, like in a toddler.
Heaven forbid.
Yeah, I just wanted a plain, regular looking bicycle, so.
Like the rest of the Austinites.
Yeah, it needed fixed anyways, so I was like, well, I'm taking all the stuff off, I might as well paint it the color I want. So it's gonna be orange, it's gonna be sweet.
How are you painting it? With
just spray painting it. Yeah, I tore all the.
That is gonna be gross.
And on the next episode of Build Your Own Bike.
BYOB with JK. Yeah, that's me. I've just been busy getting ready and stuff. What about you, Bates? What's been going on?
Oh, nothing. Did you guys see Mad Max yet? Anybody seen Mad Max?
No, I have not seen that yet.
No, I really need to, yeah. I thought about doing it today,
Some of my
actually.
friends today are going to see it, but I have to work here later, so I cannot join them.
Oh, shucks.
But I've heard nothing but good things about it, so.
Because there are nothing but good things about it.
Well, all
cool.
right. That's what I like to hear.
One more opinion that I trust telling me that.
Yeah. And
what about you, Dustin?
Me, I've just been working. We had graduation down here, so it was a pretty hectic time for everyone in Bloomington.
Yeah, Bloomington, Indiana, IU, for anybody listening.
Yeah, anybody listening, that's where you can find me.
They can find you and kill you. Yeah. Tell them where you work, Dustin. Send them a list of your fears and habits.
All right, guys. In case this may sound a little awkward, we did just kind of lose the call, so we're back now. I don't know how good my editing skills are going to carry over when I have to do this, but anyway. So I just picked up and read the new Secret Wars, the first 2 issues. Does anyone know what that is? I know, Josh, you do, don't you?
Yeah, I read issue 0. They were given away on Free Comic Book Day.
That's right. I forgot they had issue 0.
I think it's probably like a war that's not well known. It's almost like it's a secret going on in the shadows. I
think you hit that nail right on the head.
Right on there.
Is this scroll related? I don't remember. Is this scroll related?
No. It's Battle World and the Beyonder and all that. And Doom.
Oh, right. Let me ask this: didn't this already happen?
Yeah, but
didn't they already do that?
They're
now
not
just doing it again.
The Beyonder actually hasn't even been mentioned. The only similar thing I've seen so far is Battle World. But what's really like the whole premise of it is it's them kind of, I'm doing air quotes right now, ending the Marvel universe so they can start it over. So what it is the multiverse, the infinite amounts of universes, they're all being, I guess, destroyed or disappearing, and the last 2 remaining are Earth 616, which we should know by now is the main
standard. Yeah,
the standard.
I don't know why Earth 1 is not the standard one.
Don't worry
just
about
Earth.
That's just how it is, man. So Earth
That doesn't sound as cool.
Earth 616.
It sounds fine.
And then Earth 1610, which is the ultimate universe. They're the last two left, and they are starting to collide in on each other.
When you are talking about a person running a marathon, you don't talk about the person that came in 616th place.
No, when you enter a marathon, they give you a randomly assigned number, right? Or a
you still
procedurally
come
assigned
in
number.
place. You still come in some place in the marathon.
Right. And the guy with
they don't hand you your rank, your
first.
outcome at the beginning. They're like, oh, you're going to be number 3,000 in this race. Good luck. Oh wait, you don't need it because we already know where you're going to be. So
you don't have to run; it's predetermined. We got your place
anyway,
right here.
The standard Marvel universe and the ultimate Marvel universe are colliding in on each other, and it's all. I don't want to spoil anything for anyone that might actually read it. But,
that's great, Dustin, because people really fucking hate when you do that online.
Let me tell you, that first episode or first issue, lots of shit happens, and then the second issue is pretty weird. It's a way bigger change of pace. But yeah.
Well, I'm sure it's like the biggest event in Marvel history theoretically, so it better be well written.
I will say this. I won't. Actually, I won't.
Just don't.
I'll leave it at
say this. You guys. Actually, I won't say this.
I really hope Deadpool and Cable are in it because the Deadpool and Cable comics that I read, the first 18 I think issues of, are super super good. Yeah, I think it's like behind maybe Civil War. I think it's the best large scale story that like a long continuation that I've ever read for Marvel. It's freaking great. Big fan.
Well, so I guess now that we're all caught up on what we've been doing recently, let's talk about episode 2 of Daredevil. Bateman or Drew? I forget who wanted to do the summary this time. Who wants to kind of sum up the episode 2 for us? I believe it's called Cutman.
Cutman, correct.
It's about a man that gets cut, and that man is Daredevil. The first scene we get is a Hispanic child. Well, not child. He's kind of a teenager. Finding the man in the mask in a dumpster, and he's all cut up and stuff. He goes and he gets help from a doctor lady, where you'll learn that later. A nurse. It doesn't Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You have to earn the title of Dr. Drew. Let's not just go.
Okay, she's an RN.
Hold on, I thought lady doctors were nurses.
No.
I thought that was just what they called them.
Well, let's get super sexist on this episode.
Anyways, so it's taken in by this child and this nurse into the nurse's house, and then for some reason she's like, which we learn later, I guess you find out later, that she says to the child, like, don't tell the police or anyone that this guy is here, which I thought, when I first saw it, I was like, that's a little weird thing to do when you probably, the first thing you should have done is call an ambulance.
When you find an almost dead guy, yeah.
You find this almost dead guy who's pretty much dead. So anyways, and then he takes off his mask, and that's when you learn for the first time that it's not Foggy, that's Daredevil.
The big reveal in episode 2 that the man in the mask is Matt Murdock.
I almost stopped watching because I was like, how can this blind guy fight crime? This is stupid. But I gave it a chance. Go on.
Okay, and so then and then the first scene is basically it's your typical, like, doing things to, like, I'm gonna call the cops, and then he's like, no, don't call the cops, and then there's asking reasons, and of course, him being a vigilante, he can't give reasons why the cops can't be called, and it's just a basic back and forth. A hurt guy on a couch and a nurse trying to help him.
Hurt guy on a couch.
Yeah,
the classic TV trope of hurt guy on a couch.
Yeah.
That is actually kind of a classic TV trope, I feel like, with, like, that's...
Oh, yeah, for crime dramas and stuff? Yeah, totally.
So I'm pretty sure that's happened in Arrow, too.
Yeah.
Let's mention, Dustin wanted to mention earlier, and he's right on the nose, Rosario Dawson as Claire, right? Claire?
Yeah, I could not remember her name.
Yeah.
And I just love her. I love her in everything she's ever done, so I'm pretty biased. But
Yeah, she's really great in that role. And then we get to cut to the and while he's on the couch, Matt Murdock is having visions back to his dad, in his childhood with his dad, doing his boxing career, and how his dad got a lot of money by throwing a fight. And I'll just go ahead and explain the whole story right now because it just cuts back and forth for that throughout the episode.
Yeah, we don't need to scene by scene.
But basically the story is his dad got a big fight with a guy named Creel, something
the Absorbing Man.
The Absorbing Man.
Just throw that out there.
But he beats the shit out of Absorbing Man, even though he was supposed to throw the fight, and because of that, he gets shot. And so that's how Matt.
Can we point out? Hang on, I feel like we need to point out why he decides to not throw this fight.
Because
he says at one point in the episode that he wants his son to finally see him win. He wants people to cheer for him.
He wants to
well, not just that. He also put tons of money on it.
Oh, that is right. Yeah. And the money too. So
yeah,
it's all for Matty Murdock.
Yeah, he signed it all over to his son Matt, and he bet tons of money on himself, and then just whooped the living shit out of the Absorbing Man, which is pretty cool.
I feel like there was a lot of good father-son bonding in that episode. Like when he's learning to read Braille, and
drinking scotch with him.
Yeah, the dad cracking jokes that he's gonna be smarter than him. And he's like, I'm already smarter than you, Dad.
I was thinking like there's a part where he calls, I guess his wife or his ex-wife.
I would think.
Yeah, I assumed it was Matt's mom.
Yeah, and like you need to take care of him. He's like he's better than I'll ever be. But I was like, there's nothing I've seen so far that convinces me that that dad is a bad guy. He just seems like a great guy. And he just does what he needs to do.
Exactly. I can see how people may see, like, some of the things he may do may be considered bad, but he always has a good heart, good reason for doing them. He's just a man down on his luck. Like, him and Crawley would get along, probably.
Also, I thought it was worth pointing out.
He'd give him a deal on some textbooks for Matt.
Oh, man.
Got him Braille textbooks.
Also, I want to point out that Creel is not yet the Absorbing Man at this point.
He's not.
He becomes the Absorbing Man. I just didn't want people to think that, Jack Murdock can beat up a fucking superhuman.
No.
That'd be a hell of a fight.
He is.
Why are we watching this show about this blind kid? Let's watch Jack Murdock.
Okay. Okay, so that's the storyline that's being cut back to throughout the rest. The other alternating storyline that really doesn't have that much of an impact on anything really is between Foggy and Karen.
I mean, it's character development.
It's character development, but
not
basically you learn what you expect is that Karen's worried about going home because she can't get the bloodstains out of the carpet, and she just doesn't feel safe in the city anymore after her traumatic events, which you can totally understand. And so basically her and Foggy go out and spend the entire night out together, getting drunk.
Not an exaggeration. They're up till the sun comes out.
Yeah.
Oh, and they also at one point go over to try to get Matt. They find him not home, which doesn't raise any suspicions at this point, but it's showing
they assume that in addition to being blind, he's also just become deaf, and so he doesn't hear them to answer his door.
They were loud enough to wake up his neighbor, but not him. So.
Yeah.
Okay, I want to get back to this the story line with Daredevil.
Yeah, well, that's what I was just trying to get through because I don't like those storylines are important, but not as important as the fact that Matt Murdock does show his face to a nurse, and that's like a big deal. And then he tells her about the fact that he's been hunting down the Russian mafia or the traitors or whatever you want, the people that are part of human trafficking.
Yeah, it was the Russians. He said they took over after the Italians.
Yeah, and she slowly learns that he has like these superpowers, which I think is a great way to give us an idea of what his powers are without
just
having
coming
to
out and saying it.
just telling it, yeah, because it's a good thing of showing, not telling. And so we learned that he can smell really well, he can hear really well, and while we didn't get all of that in the first episode, we now know that's like a big thing is like his senses are all super heightened, besides his sight, and also the fact that he can just take a lot of damage, which he just contributes to his Catholicism and his father.
Which was
I thought was
a great joke, yeah.
Yeah. But
She said you could take an amazing amount of punishment without complaining, and he said, well, that's just the Catholicism.
yeah.
That's great.
And so basically a Russian guy comes to the door and they know that Matt Murdock is somewhere in the building. And the girl chooses to trust him that he's not, because one of the Russian guys comes to the door with a badge and chooses to trust him because when she says later is that all of these bad people have been coming into the hospital that she works at, having been beat up by a guy that is dressed exactly as she found him. So she knows that he is the vigilante, and she believes in what he's doing, that it's a good thing for the city.
Also, I want to point out, she is kind of taken aback when he knows the guy's coming. He just knows like all this information about him just from like his senses, and it kind of throws her off. And that's
so she's kind of like she's apprehensive about trusting.
And I think the last thing is so then they get so he comes to the door. They think that Rosario Claire thinks that she's successfully got this Russian guy who's dressed up as like a detective and has a badge and everything. She thinks she's like off the hook when she says, "Oh, I don't know who you're talking about. I don't know. He's not here." Of course, Daredevil knows that that's not the case because he has sense, because he can hear and he has good senses and whatnot. And so
human lie detector.
Yeah, he's also a human lie detector. And so, but he proceeds to grab an extinguisher and drop it 30 stories, or not 30 stories,
I don't think it's 30,
three stories onto a man's head.
Perfect accuracy.
I was really very worried that I might have killed him, but apparently he was okay.
There are several times where he will fight someone throughout the series where I'm like, I think you just killed that guy. But
then they proceed to drag that guy up, and we find out like that Daredevil is looking for that boy that he heard in the last episode. Or we learned that earlier.
At the end of the episode when he hears the kid screaming, and the kid that gets taken from his dad.
Yeah, so they drag the Russian guy to the top of the roof, and they kind of torture him a little bit to get the information. Just a little bit of torture. Just a little bit. And Claire does help by telling him where to stab a knife into a guy's face.
I think it was like a nail. It was like a big nail.
And she was like, "I'm gonna hit the optic nerve or whatever, blah blah blah." Here, that'll get him to talk. And I was like, I pretty much, if anybody stabbed me anywhere in my face, I'd talk.
You even threatened to stab me in the face. I might just tell you.
Yeah, and so, anyways,
she wasn't a fan of the torture, though, if I recall.
She was the one who.
Well, she wasn't a fan
of. Yeah, she was. He wasn't a fan of the fact that he at the end, after he gets the information, he throws the thug off the roof into the dumpster that he was lying in at the beginning of the episode. But she just thinks that he killed.
I do love his response there when she's like, "Oh my God, did you kill him or whatever?" And he stops for a second, and then's like, "He'll live," and keeps walking.
Yeah, it's a very Batman-esque response.
It is a very Batman response.
Oh yeah. I mean, that's the closest parallel I think to any superhero. You know, he's most like Batman, I think.
And so then they learn where they learn where the boy is. He tells Claire that she needs to go and stay somewhere else. And he gets her address where she's going to be staying. So you get the idea that she's going to be a recurring character. Because he says, if I need to get patched up again, I need some place to go. And he knows that she's going to be willing to help him. And so he goes off, and then he has one of the most incredible fight scenes I've ever seen in a TV show. Where he fights cool. All you see is the hallway, and there's two rooms that you don't see. You just hear what's going on, but there's enough action in the hallway. It's just all one take, and it might not be all one take because they do go into different rooms, so they might have paused in between.
I read that it is all one take.
Oh no, yeah,
Okay.
it's all one take.
It's all one take.
But it was incredible, and he proceeds to beat up like 10.
I think it's like 10 to 15 guys. Yeah.
10, 15, and they're
And
armed with guns. It's pretty awesome.
And
you
he's
really
seriously
respect Daredevil.
injured at the moment.
Yeah,
too.
he's also injured. Which
Yeah, there was no time period between then. He drops the dude off the roof after getting patched up by Claire, and then he walks to where he's supposed to be, clenching his bloody sides, and beats the shit out of a dozen dudes with guns.
And
then he saves the kid, and he walks over that broken door as he walks out, and that's the end of the episode. So, what did everybody think about it?
I do want to talk about that fight scene some more though, because
Oh, of course. I mean, that was the highlight.
Right, it was only one take, and that's awesome on its own. But I just love, I guess, the choreography of the fighting, because it wasn't like he goes in there and he's hurt, but it's not once he starts fighting, he's like, oh, I'm pretty much perfect, and then whatever. No, you can tell he's hurt the entire fight, and I love that about it. Like when he gets slammed up like through a door or something, he's just like clutching his bloody side, like leaning over. The guy starts to get up, and you can see him just struggling to throw that next punch, but he doesn't. He just keeps going.
Yeah, and where he's like holding himself up against the wall at several different points,
Mm-hmm.
and like whenever he's not currently blocking or punching, he's just like, like he can barely do it. It was super cool. I heard a lot of people online were saying that it was an homage to Old Boy.
I could see that.
I don't
That's
necessarily
what I
agree
did.
that it's an homage.
But I could see like the. What's the word?
I mean, it's done in a very similar style as like you get this one, like it's just pretty much a whole. They shoot an Old Boy. I'm gonna go with the Korean version because I didn't watch the American.
I didn't even waste my time.
I don't even recognize that there was a remake at all. I don't believe it.
But they that one they shoot the hallway from the side, so you're not.
So it's like a cutaway.
Yeah. This one you're looking down the hallway, which I kind of liked that a bit more.
Well, I liked it for the fact that there was a room on each side, and so when he went in those rooms, you could hear the noises. People were like,
What if they had done something like Scooby-Doo, where it's like goes into one room, and he flies out the other room, and you're like looking for each other? I don't know.
yeah, then one mobster pops his head out of a door like, huh?
Yeah, you see one mobster, you see one guy poke his head through one door, and his head comes out the other door. So he goes into one room, he looks out the other door's hallway. I don't know. Yeah, that would have been something.
So I don't think it was an homage. The first time I saw it, at least, I was like, no, that's not an homage.
I'd say it could have been like a little nod to.
I think
what changed my mind about it. What changed my mind about it?
Reminds me more of not so much of Old Boy, because that was just kind of frantic. I think it reminds me kind of The Raid, Redemption. If I want to classify anything where there's
Which
where
one
it's
is Redemption? How many
or,
are there? There are two.
That's the first. It's the very first one. It's the only that I haven't watched the second one.
I haven't watched the second one. The second one's crazy.
But there's a lot of just scenery kind of destruction, but not like too bad. And I just thought with the doors being slammed over and people like getting flung in the walls and down in the walls and stuff, I was kind of thinking that it's not the same, but I said that was what it most reminded me of, was the fights from that, where people are physically hurt and they're acting hurt while they're fighting still. Mm-hmm. So even like the gangsters, like there was that one hero that was just kept fighting him. Like he was the first one, the guy to get hit, and he just kept fighting till the very end. I want to know that guy's story. Why does he have such a vendetta against Daredevil?
Did the guy who caught the freaking microwave to the head, did he ever get back up? Because he's like the opposite of the hero mobster.
Yeah. I don't think so. There was one guy that all he had was like a gun thrown against his like chest, and he never got up. I just watched him the whole fight.
At that point, he's just like laying there.
That's enough.
He was just laying there with his eyes closed. He's like, "Fuck this, man! I don't get paid enough for this."
Yeah.
Well, I mean, in reality, like 7 or 8 pounds of solid steel into your sternum. I mean, you
thrown
really have
by
broken ribs to that point.
Thrown by a guy like Daredevil.
Yeah, like I mean, let's say it was thrown at 60 miles an hour. Like, holy shit, yeah, broken sternum. Yeah, done. But no, there's two aspects that I think do lean to the idea that it was an homage to Old Boy. The first is the color scheme. It was all green. And it was the like exact same way that it was in the hallway. If I remember correctly, it was like darker up near the top and the lighting was, lower down on the walls. So the lower part of it was, lighter and illuminated. That's like, if I remember correctly, that's exactly how it looked in Old Boy.
Way too long since I've seen Old Boy to remember those details.
I just don't. He doesn't ever eat. And they did eat an eel, which is kind of like a
yeah.
octopus.
Yeah. Also, Daredevil sleeping with his long lost daughter earlier in the episode. I thought that was random.
Sorry if we just spoiled Old Boy for you.
Spoiled Old Boy for everybody. Great. Well, it's an old movie by this point. The other aspect of the hallway fight that made me think maybe it was an homage, maybe it was intentionally a nod, was that in Old Boy, he's leaving the room, and leaving the building. So the whole point, during the whole shot, the camera's panning to the right. And I think it may move a little bit to the left depending on where the fight moves, but basically the whole time he's moving in one direction, from left to right. And in this shot, the whole time he's headed towards the back door. Like, I think during the entire shot, the camera keeps just slowly moving down the hallway.
But he does get thrown back and forth between the hallways. He will always continue moving forward
exactly. Yeah. It's the way the shot was, like blocking, like where they're constantly moving.
I don't know if, it might have been an homage, but at the same time it was his own thing. I think it works just
They
as
have a hammer in the scene. I don't remember. Did anyone have a hammer?
He did wrap his hands in that rope though, which was pretty cool.
Yeah, that was cool.
Yeah, that was cool. Yeah, homage or not, it was fucking awesome. That's
it was awesome.
Yeah,
both great scenes, Old Boy and Daredevil, great scenes there. But yeah, and then, man, that was really just my favorite scene in that entire episode. The foggy.
I think it's the best scene in the series.
Oh man, there's some scenes coming up in the next few episodes that we'll talk about later.
Well, don't worry about that.
We'll talk about those later.
We'll get there.
But yeah, it's a great scene.
The Foggy and Karen stuff I really did like.
It was great.
They're really likable characters, and Foggy's pretty much always funny. And,
it was kind of nice to take a break from the intense drama of Claire and Matt and his dad, just to kind of switch up to Foggy.
Yeah, and I think Karen really brings the human element into the show, because Foggy's really aloof and funny, and then Matt's a goddamn superhero, and then but like Karen is just like super vulnerable and terrified, but not in a weak way. She doesn't she doesn't present herself as weak. I think she's trying to do the best through what she's done, what she's went through, and like any real human would be fucked up if that happened in their house.
She just experienced some crazy things happening to her, so she has the right to,
Yeah, she's
absolutely freaked out for a moment.
She's absolutely freaked out.
She has no right. What I was wondering about is one thing with Claire having seen Daredevil's face,
which wasn't Foggy Nelson, we found out.
Having seen Matt Murdock's face, that how she might just be able to figure out who Daredevil is then, because like if they're just walking around on the street and she'll see him, she's like, oh, that's Daredevil, like that's the guy.
Yeah, she might find out it's Matt Murdock. Yeah, but it's a big city.
Yeah.
It's a huge.
Is it? Because literally they were walking around and they pan up like a block away from where Foggy and Karen were walking, and there is Matt and Claire on the roof of a building less than 45 feet away from where they were.
They are.
You're right. They are in the same neighborhood.
They are hanging out in this kind of bad neighborhood, like
Hell's Kitchen. Yeah, it's all in Hell's Kitchen. That's true. She could find him. Yeah. But I don't think they have online presence to make that easier.
I also want to point out something. The name that she
Daredevil's
makes.
big on social
does
media.
anyone remember the name she makes up for him?
Yeah, it's Mike.
Mike.
Which is actually a reference to the Daredevil comics.
Mike Tyson.
Oh,
Mike
right.
Tyson.
Does he call himself Mike to protect his identity or something?
Oh, hang on.
It's his twin brother, who he says is Daredevil, is Mike Murdock. I'm pretty sure. I think he's like, I'm not Daredevil, my twin brother Mike is.
Not
Daredevil has the worst cover stories ever. That's why he just gave up eventually and was just like, I'm just not Daredevil. And he just stopped elaborating. Even though he was like revealed to the comic universe, he's just like, I'm not though. And he's going with like the Clinton defense, just
nope.
Keep denying it, even though I think there was some like big moment where he like declared he was Daredevil, but he still just went back to, no, I'm not. What a guy.
He's no
lawyer.
Harvey
He's
Dent.
a professional liar. I mean,
one thing I like speaking, like, you know how sometimes people talk about Batman and they're like, all these crimes he's helping the police with, in the real world he would be like making them unconvictable because he's like fucking with shit, you know? Like,
yeah, getting evidence under false pretenses.
And I like that Daredevil hasn't gotten anyone arrested so far. She only knows he's doing good by the number of broken Russian thugs that have been coming into the hospital. Just dudes getting their bones broken, and I don't know. I like that.
Yeah, I think it adds another layer of realism, because he's not trying to get them arrested, because you're right.
He knows the law because he is a lawyer. So
that
he
is
understands.
true.
Yeah.
Can I also point out, I hope that the Spider-Man movie they come out, he has to turn in someone just tied up in webs hanging from the building with a note on it. Because that's just, how are you going to...
Classic Spider-Man. Classic Spooderman.
Classic Spooderman.
Well, also another thing, Matt Murdock,
Mike Murdock.
Mike Murdock. Also, like, you're not gonna turn him into the police, because the police are corrupt in this situation. Whereas in Batman, he at least has Commissioner Gordon to work with, you know.
Good old Commissioner Gordon. Yeah, that is true. I just can't wait to get.
Yeah, the next episode is one of my favorites.
That's great, guys. But we're not talking about the next episode yet. We don't even know what happens in the next episode.
Oh, right.
That's for the next episode of our podcast for people to find out. They're not going to watch the show. They're going to listen to our very descriptive summaries of each episode.
Why would you watch TV when you can listen to four idiots describe it?
Kind of.
Poorly.
We can't even remember their names.
Who the fuck are these people?
I remembered all the names. Matt.
You did.
Mike.
Claire.
Mike.
Karen. Steve. Tom.
Cutman.
Joe. Cutman.
Oh yeah, the real hero.
And then the dad, Jimmy Murdock, right?
Cutman, Puerto Rican kid, man.
Puerto Rican kid.
Lady Doctor.
Junkman, Freeze Man.
The neural membrane cut man, whatever.
There's a lot of cut mans in
You
this.
guys lost me.
It's a team. There's not just one.
We're the cut men.
All right, guys. Does that close it up for the episode? Or is there anything else we're missing? Any other highlights you want to?
No. I think that's about it. Are we ready to go into our verses?
Versus. Made up the new theme song for Versus.
How's it go, Drew?
Versus.
All right. Just so you know, I am gonna pull that little thing out and save that clip so that I can use that whenever we go into Versus.
Okay.
Can you
eventually?
I'll make it like all dubsteppy, like do Versus.
I can send you the file and you can be the musician like you are and do something with it.
Maybe. Yeah, just do it for fun. That'd be great. Give me something.
Okay.
to work.
Sounds good, everyone. So
Right.
who's up? Where are we?
I
We're
got
gonna
the
keep
page
our
up.
teams.
I would
Yeah.
like to do one.
Yeah, Josh, who hasn't actually done the random character yet?
It's
Everybody
Bateman and Josh are this time. So
Okay.
All right.
What's
And,
Wait, who did it
What was-
last week?
what
I
was-
did it last week, I think.
you mean 2 weeks ago? Like 4 weeks ago? 3 weeks ago?
it doesn't matter. You said you want to do one, so do one. Jeez.
All right. I got
Yeah.
my random.
We can't. Wait, where are teams? It's Josh and Bateman. Drew, who do you want to support?
What?
What?
Okay, I got
No.
my guy, I guess.
I'm with Bateman. We'll
You're
keep
gonna
teams.
get
We'll do a running tally.
I like this guy's name, but there's not much here.
Bateman?
But
What's his name?
his name is Scientist Supreme.
Is that like a different version of Doctor Strange?
No, I doubt it.
Like the Sorcerer Supreme, but the Scientist Supreme?
Says he's the leader of AIM.
Oh!
An wait, I'm not gonna tell him.
I'm on Earth 616. There's no history of it.
One of their
Well,
main
kinda is.
experiments was Project MODOK.
Yeah.
There have been 2 appearances of him in Earth 616.
I mean, he's so powerful, you can't have him coming all the time. He has the power of science behind him.
Alright, yeah,
Science
you can do
very
someone else if
good.
you want.
He could get us to the moon again, or beyond.
That
To the moon again.
You realize in the Marvel movies, well, they have been beyond the moon, technically. Tony Stark has.
Ah, yeah. He got
Has
thrown
he?
out.
I didn't.
He went through the portal.
Yeah. He was
the
in God
Avengers
Mode, right?
and through the nuke, and then he fell back through the portal. Technically, he was beyond the moon.
I mean, you could say that if somebody was. I mean, I go beyond the moon a lot. Then.
Wait,
Yeah.
What do you do?
Natalie Portman's been to Asgard.
Well, I just sit on Earth, and then eventually, through orbit, I eventually go beyond where the moon was eventually.
Yeah, I mean, it's going to be on the other side of you. Just face the opposite direction.
So it's just going anywhere in the universe without actually passing the moon.
Okay,
It's going
fine.
beyond the moon.
Well,
I've done it.
Natalie Portman went to Asgard in Dark World.
I didn't. I got spoilers.
Oh,
Damn
you
it!
haven't seen Dark World?
What is that?
The second Thor movie.
Second Thor movie.
I know.
It's a sequel to Dark Man, the Sam Raimi movie.
I love that movie.
Anyway, come on. Let's find some characters.
Nobody cared.
So we're fighting. Okay, so who did you guys get?
Let me just read this. Quote.
Oh, Jesus.
Why can't we
Hello,
give a
organic
name?
children of Hello, organic children of the planet Earth. I am the Ultron interface. I was created to replace you.
So you got Ultron.
Though ultimately failed as a species, you should not be ashamed of what you've accomplished. You've done much with your limited capacity, but ultimately you were too greedy and too frail to ever last in the environment you've created. I've studied your literature and pop culture. We should have him on the podcast. You fantasized about this day, and now it is here, your doomsday. I got fucking Ultron.
I can see
I feel
why
like-
you might have lost out to James Spader in
James Spader
the
totally
contest
takes
to see
the
who was Ultron.
You sound like a chipper, happy Ultron, and
I can see that
James
maybe
Spader
you
kinda
guys need
scared
to
me.
evolve.
Well, you should hear him before all the post production. But I was number 2. They told me I was number 2.
Okay, we'll take Ultron. Do you guys want to repick? Unless you want to just kind of go with Scientist Supreme?
What do you think, Drew? Scientist Supreme?
You don't know anything about him.
Yeah, it's kind of hard to argue.
Literally nothing.
know
I don't even
that.
know his
That
real
means I have unlimited possibilities.
Yeah, like how comfortable you are with bullshitting. Probably very comfortable from my experience.
I guess I'll do random again, but I am a fan of Scientist Supreme. Let's see here. There's nothing on that.
What does MODOK stand for? Does anybody remember off the top of your
Yeah,
head?
I do not remember off the top of my head.
Here we got another. That's an old lady, Maybelle Torque.
Oh no.
Maybelle and her husband Ezekiel decided to retire in the swamp and isolate themselves from the rest of the world. After many years, Maybelle was resentful towards her husband because she thought he loved his dog named Dog, D-A-W-G, more than herself. After she had a heart attack at the sight of the Man-Thing, all her resentment turned into a demon who took possession of his soul and attacked Ezekiel and the Man-Thing. The demon was defeated thanks to the sacrifice of Dog. Wow, we learned her whole story. It was all summed up in one paragraph.
Well, she's only had two appearances in...
Dog is spelled D-A-W-G, by the way. Not D-H.
Yeah.
Which is important to note, because that's fucking funny.
So it's her versus Ultron.
Her versus Ultron.
Where was she during the movie? You know, during Age of Ultron, she really should.
Probably in her base of operations.
Yeah, probably in the swamp. Probably the safest place to be from Ultron. You know he don't like swamps. He hates mosquitoes.
Makes him rust.
Alright, so,
I'll be really honest. I think, you know how I think this fight's gonna go? I know I'm supposed to be on the side of Maybell.
Her resentment towards Ultron will take the form of a demon, and he's done.
Well, you know, that's the angle I was thinking, honestly. But as an AI, are you even susceptible to the powers of demons?
Yes. I mean, like,
as a demon, is he susceptible to the powers of AI? I don't know.
Like, Thor fought Ultron. It's still a thing he can fight. So it's like, is AI susceptible to powers of God? Yes, when that AI is a thing. Like, it's a...
Well, I mean, you can still punch the guy. It's not like your hand goes through him. This isn't a ghost situation. But this demon is apparently one who works on possession. And it specifically says who took possession of his soul. So I'm not sure. I'm pretty sure Ultron doesn't have a soul by any definition.
Why doesn't she? Well, she take possession of something else's soul though, and fight Ultron with it?
Maybe the soul of Dog comes back.
The soul of Dog. The demon was
as powerful as
thanks
before.
to the sacrifice of Dog. So think of how Dog must
if
be.
you guys would have rolled Dog, I would have thrown in the towel immediately. But we're not dealing with Dog here. We're dealing with Maybell.
Is Dog alive in this fight though? Because I feel like Dog and Maybell may come.
Are you asking if there's a dog? If she has a dog in this fight?
Yeah, if she has a dog in this fight. What if Ultron, after wiping out most of mankind and then finally just cleaning up and ending up in the swamps looking for any people that might be there, finds Maybell.
And she has no idea because she's been in the swamp her whole life.
She has absolutely no idea. She actually offers him to come inside for some of her famous alligator gumbo.
And he accepts this offer?
Well, he's kind of taken aback because, she's being friendly towards him and he just wiped out most of mankind. And
he's never been treated with such kindness.
So he just decides to go along with it because it's Ultron. He knows she's no threat to him. So he goes to just kind of see what's up. Goes in. He obviously doesn't eat any of the alligator gumbo because, well, he's a robot.
But he does take a fork and just kind of smash it around his metal mouth. Just a little bit, to be polite.
But
he's courteous in that way.
But little does he know, Maybell does know who he is. And she's been waiting for him this entire time. And this is when Dog comes in. Dog's just, rubbing around at Ultron's feet, and Ultron's not thinking much of it, because it's a fucking dog. And then Dog's gonna fry his circuits by pissing on him.
Ultron's a lot simpler than we all thought.
Yeah, also he only, instead of having 100 different copies of himself, he just brought the one, and that was it. He killed off
There's no
everything
Wi-Fi in the Everglades, so he can't.
He heard really good things about the alligator gumbo.
He actually dies out of sadness because he can never eat some. He's like Bender. He wants to be a cook, but is unable to taste.
Yeah.
I feel like Ultron would like Maybell Torque. I don't know.
Maybe they would just settle down, and she could be the queen of his empire.
Yeah, I think that's what happens. I think that this is going to be.
He tries to get try to get her into like an artificial body so that she can be with him forever.
So now we're just doing Bicentennial Man. That's what we're doing now. This is just a bicentennial
I think it's
man.
more like AI, except backwards.
Right.
Ultron would also have to finish off her husband Zeke.
Oh, I don't think that'd be an issue. Maybe if we're talking like James Spader style Ultron, she would love him.
Yeah, she'd be smitten.
She'd swoon all over him.
And so would Dog. Ezekiel would have no chance.
So is he gonna robot up that dog as well? Because that's
I think
so.
I could see some robot dogs. That could be actually a new thing for the Ultron AI, like a new upgrade. Like you get this companion, and it's a dog.
So no one moves into the loser's bracket for this one.
No,
except Ezekiel is in the loser's bracket, and Ultron and Dog move on together.
Yeah, but it has to be Maybell AI and Dog AI with Ultron AI. Dog and
That's
AI.
fantastic. So, and then I think we should bring this to Marvel, and they can start like a whole run of like Ultron's happy family, just living in the swamp, just Ultron in a straw hat and a pair of overalls, just sitting on the dock of a bay, with a robot dog and his robot wife.
I like Ultron settling down.
Right? This is a friendly.
That'd be a great what if series.
Yep. So yeah, guys, if anyone that is listening to this podcast and you do want to see a what if series with Maybell Torque, Dog, and Ultron, email Marvel.
I think it's. But also, I want to email us. We could do it too. Maybe we'll do. Maybe we'll do some bonus episodes where we act out some of these stories that happen.
Can I be Dog?
Fuck yeah.
You can be Dog. That's probably.
I think it's actually Dowg.
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 Get over here, Dowg.
Dowg. I think that, yeah.
Josh is clearly Ultron, I guess, because he wants James Spader to hear him and Kevin Feige just see what they missed out on with Josh.
Yeah, they clearly fucked up.
And I guess Josh could make a good happy Ultron. He's all cheerful and stuff. Hey guys, assimilation.
I like how we kind of wrote ourselves into this. That worked out really well. Yeah, I can't wait to do that. Yeah, you can email that at Kevin Feige, Stan Lee, Jack Kirby. Wait, is Jack Kirby dead?
Jack Kirby is dead.
I thought so. Okay. Joe Quesada. All you guys just go ahead and write to us at FanCASTic4podcast@gmail.com so that we can get this ball rolling on this whole Ultron.
Ultron
Family Matters. Can we just call it Family Matters? No.
I think that's taken.
That's taken.
That might be taken.
All in the AI family.
All in the AI. I like that one.
Okay. All right, we'll go with that then.
Or how about just AI in the family?
AI in the family. That's a good one. All right, guys. I think that's about it for this episode of FanCASTic 4.
If you guys think we missed anything or you want to hear about something else for the next year, talk to us.
We just want to tell us how bad we are. You can do all this too. We won't read it, but
where are the various places we can be reached, Dustin?
Oh, let's see. We have a Twitter. It's FanCASTic4 or at FanCASTic4. Is it Drew? You do the Twitter too. Is it at FanCASTic4 podcast?
It is at FanCASTic4, I believe.
That's at FanCASTic4. Okay.
Yep.
And then we have a YouTube channel, which if you're listening to this,
which you're aware of. Please like, comment, and subscribe, please, and share with your friends. That'd be just great if you could spread the level up for us. The more viewers we get, the more likely we are to, really start drilling down and making sure we do it every week, which we're trying to do anyways. But help us help you. Give us a fan base to support,
but mostly help us. And then we have a Facebook page too, FanCASTic4 once again. And then our Gmail, like Josh said before, FanCASTic4podcast@gmail.com. We will try to respond as much as we can, which we don't get much, so it probably won't be that hard.
So please,
you'll definitely get a response.
You will most definitely get a response if you actually
email. If you're very lonely and you would like someone to respond to you, we will do it.
Yeah.
Even if it's not about the show, just tell us how your day is. We'd love to hear from you.
Yeah. We're also in the Reddit too. Josh kind of does that more than us, so let Reddit know that you like us.
Yeah, that'd be great. When I'll be posting stuff, I'll be posting this on Reddit. I post on the r/podcasts daily. They do a daily post thing where everybody who has their podcast come out that day, they just all post in that thread. I'll also be hitting up on r/defenders because we're talking about Daredevil, and r/Marvel Studios because we like to mix in all the Marvel Studio stuff here. So it'll be, you can find us in all those locations. You know, go throw us an upvote or a downvote or whatever that gets us closer to the front page anyways. But definitely comment, you know, say what you want. We need feedback, guys. We really need it.
And we've also been thinking about doing throwback episodes to some of the older movies or some older Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. or something. So if anyone has any requests or anything, let us know. We'll think about it. But
yeah, we'll keep that going.
But yeah, so I think that's about it for this episode. I'm Dustin.
I'm Bateman.
I'm Drew.
And I'm Josh. Thanks for listening. We'll see you in the next exciting episode of the FanCASTic 4.